Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have news on what has occurred in the Living Legend status of BRIAR, and it turns out BRIAR appears to be exactly one win short of reaching the Living Legend status, and this is going to create some interesting, it could conceivably create some interesting dynamics going forward into this next meta, and it does mean that BRIAR is most likely not long for the world anyway, and yet it means that we will have some quite interesting possible overlaps in that BRIAR being, still available for play when the next set Dusk Till Dawn releases means that her signature weapon, which is the Rosetta Thorn, is also available to be played, by all Rune Blades, but perhaps specifically Vinset if Vinset seems to be that way. Nevertheless, the fact that BRIAR didn't actually cross the finish line means that you are going to be able to take BRIAR to the upcoming meta and actually play the deck and play the hero and really jam out some Channel Mount Heroics some more and try to do the old BRIAR high roll thing. There are some, it's kind of funny. It's like this weird double-edged sword because BRIAR doesn't quite limp across the finish line here. It allows you to continue to play those same cards and that same deck that you've already played without having to look at, something like a Living Legend format right away. But it also means that BRIAR is continually open now to the changes and different strategies that something like an expansion set can actually implement. And it's funny to think, if you're thinking about, and I'll just go and show you, like if we go to, if we just go to the welcome page, like just go to the home page. If you look at this, if you don't remember, on the very far corner, let me see if I can fix it to where you can see it. On the very far corner of the big old banner, the key art, way over there we go. There's Oldhim, right? You see Oldhim? And there's Lexi, and I guess we can presume that this is supposed to represent BRIAR of some sort, or maybe BRIAR's just tucked in here somewhere. Nevertheless, we can assume that BRIAR is involved in this because she already has a card in Dusk Till Dawn, but these are heroes that are actually represented in the lore of the set itself, in the lore of Dusk Till Dawn, and funnily enough, you're not, why did I do that? Don't do that. Control Y. There we go. Yeah, there we go. You're not necessarily going to see any like big effects of the Oldhim specialization, presumably, that exists. I mean, if we're thinking about how the spoiler season has kind of unraveled so far for Dusk Till Dawn, which I don't actually know if I can see any of that on here. Let's just go to Fabrary. If I just go to Fabrary and just look at Dusk Till Dawn, like presumably we are going to have, like everybody that's involved in the set could have themselves a specialization. That's why we have Dorinthia specializations, Shiana specialization. We even have a Bravo specialization, assuming that like from a lore standpoint, they went and they got Bravo to bring to this battle. And then of course a BRIAR specialization. I am extrapolating from that we would also get an Oldhim and a Lexi specialization perhaps as well with that same keyword Unity. And Oldham's not necessarily going to be able to tap into that in either format, because he's CC'd out, or sorry, LL'd out, I should say, in CC, and he's LL'd out in Blitz as well. So if they give him one, it's not like you can access it. But you know who can? Is BRIAR. BRIAR being there will have access to the new card and to any new cards available in this expansion set that's upcoming, which I think is going to be really exciting. It's not just to me about BRIAR being available to play. It's also about BRIAR, allowing people to play Rosetta Thorn as well as new heroes come into the fold with Vinset, of course. And it's also allowing you to explore the expansion set a little bit with BRIAR, which I'm not going to lie to you. And tell me if you feel this way or not. I actually think BRIAR is perhaps one of the most successful underexplored heroes in the game. I know that's a weird statement, but think about it. BRIAR has so many cards and other like effects that can overlap and do things that haven't really been explored or, dove into from a meta standpoint, because Channel Mount Heroics just super good. I mean, Cheerios BRIAR just super good. And those two archetypes have really just dominated what BRIAR wants to do. Like, we haven't necessarily dove into the weeds of, you know, an arcane BRIAR with like Flicker Wisp and things like that necessarily, and perhaps it's just not successful anyway, and maybe people have. But there's always the capability of something like that showing up in an expansion set, giving support for that type of hero, or that type of archetype, I should say, in an expansion set, and you having access to mess around with it. Now, what's going to happen after Dusk Till Dawn season, just so you know, and I don't know if I can actually show this anywhere. If I can just go to articles and type in ban. When they released the previous ban and suspension announcement. Okay, so this was April. There we go, this one. So if we look at this, nope, this one was like from last year. Gosh dang it, where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. It's one of these. See, this is the, there we go. It's got to be this one. It's got to be, no, this was from March. Gosh dang, where is it? It's like the April one. Or the May, it's this one. All right, we figured it out in the end. Okay, so looking at the way this functions, Icelander and Oldhim are both out, which is in Blitz, which is to be expected. But down here, this is what I wanted to talk about. So the next scheduled ban and suspended announcement is Monday, July 3rd, and this takes place around the same time as we get all the spoilers for Dusk Till Dawn. So officially, where is it? There it is. Icelander, Oldhim are gone already as May 5th, but in Classic Constructed, Oldhim goes on July the 3rd. On July 3rd, and BRIAR sticks around. Now, the next ban and suspended announcement will be posted on July 3rd. At the very bottom, they're going to have one of these. It's going to say next scheduled ban and suspended announcement. We can assume, unless something crazy happens, that BRIAR will somehow gain exactly 2 points or more to get to that Living Legend status within this next meta. And if we are to assume that, the next ban and suspended announcement will have this posted at the very bottom. That is when she will rotate out, but that's only if she actually gets those points. And we're kind of entering into a little bit of a lull of like the kind of like numerous small competitive scene type thing. And so if we go into a Classic Constructed lull where like the next big tournaments are just nationals, she might actually stick around for like 2 metas if she doesn't end up picking up a win at like a national championship. Because again, if where am I going? Where's the button? Where's the list on the bottom of this game? There we go. If she doesn't get exactly 2 points, where, you know, she wins a Pro Quest, which have already been finished, a Road to Nationals, or I guess they can't run a CC skirmish, I don't think. It would come at a Battle Hardened is your only chance, or a National Championship at that point, or like a calling. I don't think, there are probably callings coming up. So it's up to BRIAR players if they want to hit that cap to win one of these types of events in the next season or 2 and try to close out the gap. And if that doesn't happen, she could stick around for like several metas, because we just exited the the range of this right here, the Road to Nationals and Pro Quest season, the first half of the year, and now it's down to Battle Hardens, which are regional kind of like bigger events, National Championships, which are coming around in about 2 months. And then we have like the World Championship at the end of the year. So it's going to be really interesting to see if she crosses the finish line, because she certainly hasn't now. I want to know your opinions. I posted a poll and asked how many people thought that BRIAR would LL. Let's take a look. Here are the current results of that if we're looking at it. Most people, 53% of people said, yes, BRIAR did hit Living Legend. I was actually one of them. 28% said no, and I guess 19% had no clue what I was talking about, so they pressed huh, which, by the way, these are like the best. This right here needs to be a channel emoji for like members. I have not set up a channel membership yet, but I think I'm gonna go through just so that I can make this an emoji, because in my Discord, this is already, I made this an emoji. It's just like colon, huh, colon. If you want to jump into the Discord, you can spam this everywhere. It's fantastic. I wonder if Flake will let me use this as an emoji in my Discord as well, because that's too perfect. I gotta make that one as well. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in a comment below. I'm gonna go fix the video that I released tomorrow, the one that's due out tomorrow, and I'll catch you next time. But you know, before you do, make that number go slightly higher. And if you want to be a patron, then you get like some really cool cards, like I don't know, like this one for example. You could get one of these. This is an Azuri. It's pretty spicy, right? It's pretty shiny and pretty cool looking. As always, thanks for watching.